A very good morning, everyone. Welcome to our lab class, and I hope that you all are doing well, keeping yourself safe, and at the same time, very much keeping up with all the syllabus that we have for CIN535, moreover with your other courses as well. Now, in today's class, what we will be doing is we will be looking at some exercises in Photoshop, and these would be your final set of exercises that you'll have for Photoshop in CIN535. Now remember, this is just an introduction course. In other words, you wouldn't be going into an extreme depth of graphics or even web in CIN535. What we're doing is we're just covering up very basic steps from which way you can always go and build up and learn more. Now, some quick reminders. Those of you who are yet to attempt your lecture-based quizzes, please do make an effort to attempt it. Now, week 7, we have our mid-semester exam, which is next week. The week 7 mid-semester exam, it will open up this Sunday and it will close up on the following Sunday, giving you approximately 8 days to attempt your mid-semester exam. Now, what about the classes? The classes that we will be having next week. Okay. Now, our classes fall on Thursday and Friday. So just in case, if you would like to hold on to your mid-semester exam and attempt it either after our lab class on Friday, Saturday, or somewhere during daytime on Sunday, you are most welcome to do so. And also those of you who think that you are well prepared for your exam and you can attempt your exam without going through the classes next week. Now, what I will be doing in the class next week is I will be actually doing some revision work. Okay, so I will be providing you a set of questions whereby you'll have to put in a bit of effort on your own to find answers for those questions and attempt them, use them as revision and as a guideline for your mid-semester exam. So those of you who feel that you do not need those revision questions, you are most welcome to attempt your mid-semester exam before Friday or well before the classes. That's on mid-semester exam. Just another reminder on mid-semester exam, you have 20 multiple choice questions, 10 marks of true or false questions, and 20 marks of short answer questions. You will be allocated a total of 1.5 hours to attempt all these elements. Now, also do note that your project 1 is due next week, Friday, on the 10th of September. So far, I have only one submission, which has been done by the students. So the individual who has submitted, I know who he or she is. I will not be calling out the name in the class. However, the individual who has submitted, thank you for your efficiency and thank you for doing submitting assignment well before time. And those who have not submitted, I hope that you may submit it as soon as possible so that you're not loading up for your mid-semester exam. Now, here's the thing. If you're loading up work, remember, you'll have mid-semester exam in almost all the courses that you're doing this semester. And it will be next week. Okay, so please try to get things done well before time. Yep, that's all of the reminders that I have till our mid-semester. Apart from that, okay, yesterday we didn't have a class. Okay, there was a power outage in my area. However, you'll notice is that I have uploaded the video beforehand. Okay, so the video was there, a recorded version, and I hope that you've gone through it doing a normal class. If you haven't, normal class time rather, if you haven't, please do make an effort to go through the video. It's on animations. It's pretty simple. I've also notified in the recording what all things are important for you to actually learn from that set of lecture notes. Okay, quite a small set of lecture notes, not too big. Now, what I want you to do next is, can we go on and quickly download all these files? So we have 3 sets of lab, which I have located close to about 1.5 hours of the class. So please, can you go and download this? You have files on blending images, extraordinary effects, and dispersion effects. Please download them up and at the same time, open up photopea.com. You have 3 minutes to do that. 2 more minutes and then we'll go over the lab. I hope that you have downloaded all the files by now. If you haven't, please do so. And at the same time, please also open up photop.com. All right. Now, what I want you to do next with photop.com opened up, can you go and refer to Image Blends Lab and open up cup and ocean images. Open up both of those two images, please. All right, so what we want to do in this lab is, so you have two images, the image of a cup, which you are viewing on the screen at the moment, and you have image of the ocean. So what I want to do is I want to replace this cup of coffee with this ocean. Okay, so that means in the cup you should have that image of the ocean. So how would I go around doing it? So first of all, what we will do is this. Okay, the ocean image, I'd like you to click and drag it over somewhere on top of the image. You can place it anywhere at the moment, and then we can readjust it later. Let me repeat that. The ocean image, can you place it on top of the cup image? Please do it together with me so that we all are at the same pace and the same time you're learning things on real-time basis. Just in case if you have questions or queries, feel free to drop a chat message or unmute and speak. So once you've actually inserted the ocean image on top of the cup image, I'd like you to hide that image. Okay, now make things even more clearer, let's go and rename our images. So the one with the ocean, let's call it ocean, and the other one with the cup, let's call it as cup. So you need to ensure that your cup image is shown and your ocean layer is actually hidden. All good. Now with that done, the next thing what I would like you to do is zoom in, okay, your cup image, and what we're targeting is actually that coffee in the cup. Now I'd like you to go and select the object, which is the coffee, select all of it using any of the selection tools. You are most welcome to choose a selection tool of your own. So what I will do is I will choose a quick selection tool. please ensure when you are selecting your quick selections, when you are actually selecting that coffee and using a quick selection tool, ensure that you have selected the correct layer as well. And you can also combine several types of selection tools to ensure that you have selected the coffee in the cup. Okay, so I'm reading with my selection. If you aren't, please ensure to get the coffee ocean selected only. You have 2 more minutes to do this. Now, once you have completed with the selection phase, the next thing we'll do is we'll take our focus on the ocean layer. So in the ocean layer, using your show and hide button, you go and show your layer. So this is what it is, and you'll see a bit of portion of my selection. See, I have not been very precise with the selection, and I can see a bit of selection outside that circular formation. It's okay, leave it as it is at the moment. Okay. Now, once you have actually shown the ocean layer with your ocean layer selected, please do so. Select your ocean layer. Once you would do that, what I would like you to do next is go to your layer menu. In the layer menu, we are looking at raster mask option, layer menu, raster mask option, and click on reveal selection. Now what happens is the image that was placed right on top of it, okay, has been replaced with that cup of coffee. However, There's a bit of changes that I want to do. I want to have not the sun, but the ocean element in that cup. So how would I go around doing this? Now to do that, what you should do first is unlink your layer. You'll see you have a raster mask and that particular image. These are linked, so unlink it. How do you unlink? Is basically by clicking on that chain link and then select the image with your selection on or move tool activated. You can actually go around and move your image. So this is what I want to have. And then again, go around linking it. All right, this is pretty simple. Anyone has any questions or any queries in regards to this? So if I have to summarize the steps would be something as very, very simple. What you would do is you will open up both the images. So you have the cup image and the ocean image. So what you'll do is the ocean image, you'll place it on top of the cup image, okay, and then hide the ocean image. After that, with the use of various selection tools, you are to select the portion of the place where you want the ocean to be replaced by. So in our case, it was that coffee in the cup. So we have selected it. Okay. Now, if you would like to make these edges way more neat or sharper, what you can do is you can always use your refine edge tool and then get that done. Now, refine edge tool, basically you will find it under selection menu. We have covered this in last week's class. Feel free to go back and have a look at the video and then walk accordingly. So after we have selected it, the next thing what we did, the ocean layer, we made it visible, and then we went to the layer menu. From the layer menu, we have used a raster mask option and reveal selection. So once you reveal the selection, what happens is that the top image is replaced by the selection that you have just done. Moreover, okay, if you would like to, and if you like to move the top image, okay, so you will have to unlink your raster mask and also your image, unlink them, okay, and then you can freely move it around where you'd like to. After you're done with it, you'll have to click at the same place where the link was to link it back. So this is how you go around blending two images. Now, at the moment, we only have one cup. Just in case if we have 2 or 3 cups, you can do the same. Apply 2 or 3 different selection, and from there, you can go around performing the same set of tasks that we have just done. So this is what the image was, and this is what it has been replaced with. Okay, so this was a very simple exercise. I had targeted close to about 10 to 15 minutes for this. So this is what we have. Now, any questions, any queries, anyone? All clear? Okay, if all are doing well and if you're able to grasp this easily, then good. Now, after this, what I'll ask you to do is, can you go and quickly save this file somewhere? So file, export, or save as. If you'd like to, you can save it as a PSD. In fact, I would suggest to save you in PSD and also in JPEG both or PNG both. Okay, so save as PSD and save as PNG as well. So place it inside the same folder where you had saved those two images. So this is the final result. Okay, you have 2 minutes to sum up the work, and after that, we'll move around working on the next set of lab exercise for the class. All right. So once you've done that, I'd like you to close these two files and open up the next two files that we have that you had saved from here, extraordinary effects. Can you open those two, please? You have a file on ocean and a file on road. Can you go and quickly open this up, please? This is also a simple effect or a very simple lab exercise. However, it may be useful in terms of you doing your assignment on surrealism, or it can also be useful when you're going to edit some pictures. Okay, with those two files open up, the next thing that I would like you to do is have a look at the image first. Okay, radio.psd. Okay, have a look at it. Sorry, road.psd, not radio. Have a look at your image. So what I want us to do is this ocean that you're seeing, I want it to be blended in with the road. So that means I should see a portion of road and also ocean effect on it. But remember, on the road only, not on the sides. Okay, so the road starts from right at the very front end of the image and goes all the way till the very end. Okay, so we have to fight till somewhere here. So how do we do that? First of all, the ocean image, you'll have to drag it over your road image. Do so, please. Once you've done that, okay, I'd like you to activate your transform tool, Alt plus Control plus T, or you can always go to edit and free transform. Okay, I'm using shortcut Alt plus Control plus T, T for tree. Thereafter, we will use our placeholders accordingly and make the image smaller in size so that we can actually see where your image is moving within or on top of the road image. This is what I like to do. So this is the image covering the very end portion of the road. And then we will try our best to grab hold of the corner placeholder. Pardon me. Let me do this once more. So this is where it is. All right. And I'm adjusting it to the length of the image and squashing it from the right hand side, bringing it in. Moreover, okay, I am bringing it in from this side as well. So this is how I'd like you to have your image as at the moment. Remember, use the free transform tool. Things becomes easier when you use a free transform tool for you to actually adjust the size of your images. Now, once you've done that, you can press enter and the image is laid on top of the road image. And before we do that, let's go and rename our layers. Renaming layers makes it easy for me to actually call out the exact names. Moreover, it gives a good sense of distinguishing between the two layers. So the top layer, we will name it as ocean. The bottom layer, we'll name it as road. Now, if you're wondering how to rename, double click on the name. So double click on the name of the layer, and then you can go around renaming it. All right, with that done, I'd like you to select the ocean layer and look at your blending options. Now, at the moment, your blending option is on normal. Let's go and click onto the drop-down arrow and choose the option as overlay. So what happens is basically the ocean blends in to the road. However, it doesn't look so clear. The reason being why it doesn't look clear is this. You'll notice is that the portion of the ocean image also goes on the side as well. So we need to remove that. So the only possible way we can remove that is to the use of a layer mask or raster mask, how it is called in photopea.com. Okay, is to insert in a layer mask and use your editing features. Now, which editing feature would you use in layer mask or raster mask is to the use of brush tool. Remember, with the white brush tool, you actually insert in features, and with the black colored brush tool, you end up removing features. So let's go and with the ocean layer selected, insert in a raster mask. With that done, okay, open up your brush tool. Okay, select any of the brush tools that you'd like to. So this is your brush tool options. I'm selecting any of the circular ones. All right, now once you have done that, the next thing that you will do is you'll go and adjust the color. Remember, white actually inserts in, black actually removes. So I want it vice versa. So white over here, this box indicates foreground, the one at the back indicates background. So I want the foreground to be black in color. With the brush tool activated, okay, if you'd like to, you may zoom in to view things clearly. So I will attempt to edit the left-hand side first, and there you go. What I'm doing is the portion of the image which actually had covered up because of the image of the ocean, I am trying to remove all that. So please go and adjust both the size, left and right. You'll have to take it a bit slow, ensuring that you do not end up removing the portion of the ocean from the road. There you go. After that, I will scroll towards where I pen towards the right hand side and then try to adjust it accordingly. If you'd like to, you can also adjust the size of your brush so that things become much more easier. Remember, the shortcut for editing the size of your brush is using the rectangular bracket keys from your keyboard. And this is my end result. Now, I'll give you some time on this. Since I know that you're editing the sides, you have 5 minutes to work on this. Should you have any questions or queries, feel free to ask. Okay, you want me to repeat? Thank you, Avish, for your question. So you'd like me to repeat the steps for blending in? Sure. Okay. Now what I'll do is, rest of you can continue. Avish, what I'll do is I'll have to go and insert in the images once again. So I will remove this portion, the entire of it, entire ocean layer. I'm removing it. Okay. And I'm redragging the image onto the road image. So the ocean image, I am taking it across onto the road portion. And I have to use my free transform tool to actually adjust it to the image. Now, the thing is this, what I want to do here is I want to have this ocean being blended into the road. So Alt plus Control plus T, that is my free transform tool. So I'll very quickly go and adjust it to the road portion of the ocean image. Sorry, road portion of the road image. Very across, have it adjusted very accurately and clearly. Now, once adjusted, I'll press enter and the image comes on top of the road. Thereafter, you'll have your blending options. The blending options, you'll find it where you have the normal command written with a drop down arrow. So when you click on the drop down arrow, choose overlay. Okay, let me repeat that. Click on the drop down arrow and choose overlay rather. You can try out other options as well. You have hard light, you have soft. Okay, you can try other options and see which one works better. Now the best one that I actually liked was overlay. Soft light also looks good. Okay, so you can try overlay for now, and later onwards you can try other options. And once you're done with that, activate a raster mask. Okay, and with the brush tool and the foreground color is black, can you go and remove the excess image from the sides? Thank you, Avish. While you're waiting for others to actually complete this, and those of you have already done this, what you can do is, with your ocean layer selected, try and apply other forms of blending options and see what happens. See, even multiply looks good on the road. See, if you have a look at it, even multiply looks good. Now the thing is this, not all these different types of blending options will look good in almost any of the images. You'll have to do trial and error and see which one looks best. For some of the image, based on the color and the type of the image, overlay looks good. For some of it, you have soft light, which looks good, and so forth. Try the different options, see how does it look. Now, once you've done with that, let's go ahead and adjust the hue and saturation of the image. So how do you go around adjusting the hue and the saturation? The keyword adjust, that means to get it adjusted, you need to go to and create a new adjustments layer from the bottom of the layers menu. This is the one, new adjustment layer, and from it you choose hue or saturation. Now this is very much similar to what we did in the first or second, probably I think the second of our lab class on Photoshop. Okay, so with hue and saturation, try adjusting it, see what all forms of color contrast you can do. Now what my specific purpose here is, if you notice on the side, the color of the grass is quite brown. I want it to be black in, sorry, not black, but green in color. It will be odd to have black grass, green. Okay, so try to change it into greenish color. Okay, there you go. Okay, so I'm dragging it the hue portion very slowly, and what you notice is that the color is changing to green. Okay, this is how it looks, and it looks better actually. Now, for your ocean layer, I would like you to change your blending mode to multiply. It looks better on multiply rather than on overlay. Okay, so have your ocean layer blended to multiply, and then hue or saturation layer, you can adjust it accordingly. Let's say you've adjusted and you want to get back the menu. So this is the one, properties, click on it, and then you can go back and readjust them. Okay, you have 2 more minutes to complete this, and after that we'll move on to the next exercise. Don't worry about what I'm doing. I'm just trying to get a snippet for the video upload. All right. Any questions, any queries, anyone? This is quite interesting with the sort of idea of things you can do with Photoshop. Now, this is an example of surrealism. You don't normally have ocean-like effects on the road, do you? We do have potholes here in Fiji, but we don't have potholes which have a wave structure as what you're seeing on the screen at the moment. All right, so this is a simple effect. We call it as blending effect. Okay, now in graphics term, they call it as extraordinary effects. So this is an example of doing it as such. Now, if you have completed this, please go and save the file somewhere, save it in both PSD and PNG format, so that later onwards, if you need any guidance on it, you can always go around using these files. You have 2 minutes to save this up, and after that, we'll move on to the next exercise called dispersion. Now, with the dispersion exercise, we will be using the file, okay, which I have given you in the dispersion effect folder on Moodle. So those who've saved it, please open up that particular image. And this is your very last exercise for the lab class today, and also your very last exercise for Photoshop. So I thought, let's go and do something that may be a bit difficult for beginners to actually start off with. And also do note that there are a lot of steps to complete this exercise. So we will be doing a dispersion effect. Okay, so while we're working on this, I will need most of your concentration to be on what I am doing. Keep your ears open as well, because while I am showing you the effects on the screen, you also need to hear it accordingly and try it on your own. So this is how we'll do it. Okay, so I will do one simple change on the image, or one simple manipulation on the image, and then I'll give you a minute to try it out, because there's a series of steps, close to about 30 steps in this. Yeah, 30, close to about 30 to 32 steps on this. So it will take us a bit of time. So with the image open, so what I want to do first is I want to grab hold of that object on the screen. The object is basically that person, that guy on the screen. So I want to select him first, and the background portion to be completely removed. So please use any of the selection tool to do so. I'll start with the quick selection tool, and if need be, I'll combine other types of selection tools. So you can try which one suits you the best. You have 3 minutes to select. I've managed to do it just to use a quick selection tool. You can combine more than one tool if you'd like to, or you can use any tool which seems easy for you to use. You have 1 more minute. All right, moving on. Now from your options bar, I hope you still remember what an option bar is. This is your option bar. From the option bar, you have a command called Refine Edge. Please place a click on it. So on the left side is what you have selected, and on the second side is the result of your selection. For me, it looks pretty good. The edges seem fine. Okay, so I am satisfied with the selection that I have. So what I can do is I have options. Either I want it to open up in a selection mode or rest the mask on new layer. Let's select new layer and click on OK. So now what has happened is I have the image of that particular person. Now let's call him as a model. Okay, I have an image of a model, and also I have the background layer, the bottom one. So the bottom background layer, the one which is hidden at the moment, can you go and delete it? So how do you delete? You can place a click on the layer and press delete button from a keyboard, or you can do a right click and delete, or you can select and delete option from your layer menu, either of it. Use either of those three options to actually go and delete the layer. All right. So once you have done that, from your tools menu, this is your tools menu, I'd like to go and select the crop tool option. You can always use the shortcut. The shortcut for crop tool is C. If you see C is written in bracket. Okay, so your crop tool, as you will click on it, you'll have your crop placeholders on an image. Now, what I want to do is this. Can I have your attention here, and then you can try this out? I want my canvas to increase to the right hand side, and my canvas to actually go up a bit. So the size increases on top and also on the right, and press enter on the keyboard. Let me redo that. So this is what I had. Okay, so with my crop tool activated, gives me this. So I want to extend this to the right and a bit also on top. So once I am fully satisfied with it, I will press enter on the keyboard. All good. Now, after that, let's go and create a background. Now, all this while, we have been creating a background layer. However, the background layer generally was a solid color. This time, let's go and work on a new tool called a gradient tool. So how do we do this? To insert a background layer with the current image selected, what I would ask you to do is go to a new adjustment layer and choose the command called gradient fill. Let me repeat that: adjustment layer, gradient filled. So once you are there, and you'll see a new layer opens up. So within the new layer, okay, you have the layer properties, gradient fill. Now where it says gradient, and then you have a drop down arrow, click onto the drop down arrow, and I'd like you to go and select the third preset. The preset are already ready-made gradient colors. So let's choose the preset where you have black and white. Third option, place a click on it. and you'll notice some changes on your layer. Now, at the moment, the black is in front, followed by the white color. See, black is on the left-hand side, so we'll treat that as a front, and the white is on the back portion, on the right-hand side. So let's go and do it vice versa. So select the reverse option. Better? All right. Now, so far what we have done, adjustment layer, gradient fill. After that, we chose the third preset from the gradient and reverse. Please take a minute, cross-check this on your own screens. All set? Any questions, any queries, anyone? All right, if no questions or no queries, use the option called style. Linear is what you're seeing at the moment. Now I want to have it whereby the gradient color is dispersed on the layer through circular motions. So with that drop down arrow that you had, now let's go and select radial. See the previous one, linear, and then radial. So this is the difference. Radial normally sets or disperses something using circular motions. So in this case, we are dispersing the black and white color. We'll fix it in a while because this wouldn't look good as the background with that particular model. Please select your style as radial. And the angle that I want you to select is, here's the thing. Normally, when you are working with radial and gradient, it's all about trial and error. Okay, so the more you do it, the more different versions and trials that you do, the better you'll get over time. And it varies between different images. So in this case, I've already done this beforehand so that I can know what is the best angle to match here. So let's have the angle as 90 degrees. Hold on, if you're thinking this looks even bad than before, hold on, we're still left with one more effect. So the angle, keep it to 90 degrees. See, you can also move around here and see how much it covers the screen. Okay, but stick to 90 at the moment. So once you're there, look at the option underneath angle. It's called scale. Let's apply a scale of 243. If you have a scale of low option, see what happens. This is the scale of that circle, the radial. So when I make it bigger, so that circle goes bigger as well. And I have stuck to a value of 243. So I will type 243. And this is what I get. With gradient, you can always have different colors as well. Okay, that is something that you will do at advanced levels. If you're working with gradient tools, please do go and have some of the tutorials on YouTube, or you can also go and view some tutorials from other websites on how you can work with setting up gradient colors of your own. It will take time for you to learn because that is not so easy. Gradient means combination of more than one color. So when you're combining color, you need to match the colors accordingly, and then also do a bit of trial and error to learn them. So that's on gradient. Now with that done, please, I'll give you a minute to cross check. So in gradient, you're choosing the preset color 3 option, black and white, with the reverse selected. Moreover, the style that you're using is radial, and the angle that you have is 90 degrees and a scale of 243%. Please cross check. I will give you a minute for this. All right, any questions, any queries, anyone? If no questions or queries, let's continue. Let's hide this properties layer. So this is the properties option, place a click on it, so that's hidden. Now thereafter, this is what I would like you to do. I'd like you to grab hold of the gradient fill one layer and drag it underneath the image that you have for the model. See, this is what it was, and this is what it becomes. Looks a bit better. Now, once you have done that, can you go and rename your gradient fill one name of the layer as background? And the image with that model, name it to model. Any questions so far? Is there anyone who is lost, who needs further assistance on this? Anyone? Nope? Oh, good. All right. After that, what I wish to do is this model layer that we have, we need to duplicate it. So how do we duplicate? So we select the model layer, do a right click over it, and duplicate layer. Now the duplicate layer, let's name it as, rename it as liquify. Now why I am naming it as liquify, because we will be adding some liquify effect to it. Okay, so far you have liquify layer, which is on top, model background. The liquify layer, I'd like you to take it right beneath the model layer. So now your order of layers from top to bottom would be model, liquify, and background layer. Let me repeat that. The order of the layers from top to bottom will be model, liquify, and background layer. The model layer rather, can you go and hide it? Model layer, please hide it and select your liquify layer. Let me repeat that. Can you please go and select your liquify layer? Now with that being selected, okay, the next thing we'll do is we'll go to our filter layer. Sorry, filter menu, not layer, but filter menu. And from filter menu, I would like you to go and select the command called liquify. Filter menu, click on liquify. So you come up with the liquify options. Now in the liquify options, these are the tools that you can use to liquify. So I want smudge, the first option to be selected. Done? Right, after you've selected smudge, can you go and increase your size of that smudge brush tool to 150? So this is how big it is. Now have a look at what I'm doing. First of all, I'll pick up the jacket portion. Okay, so I am selecting this, holding onto my mouse button and dragging it to the right hand side. Same thing, yeah. Now what has happened, it seems that my brush tool is too small. So I will undo it and increase the size to, let's say, 200, or probably keep it to 250. Yeah, 250 seems better. Now grab and hold and then drag. Now this looks better. Grab and hold and drag it to the right hand side. This smudge tool, what you can do is you can pull off the pixels from the image and drag it to another side or anywhere which matches and suits your need. If you have questions in regards to using your smudge liquefier tool, please do let me know. You have 1 minute to do this, please. All right, so once you've done this, can you quickly go and place a click on your OK button? And you have that effect showing on the liquefy layer. Now, what I want to do next is I need to ensure that this particular image is hidden, and it is hidden within a raster mask. So how do I do that? Now, what we need to do is we need to insert in a negative raster mask. Now, generally, when you insert a raster mask, you have a white box coming in, okay? The raster mask layer. Now, we want to have a black box coming in. Black meaning it will hide everything that is within that layer. So how do I do that? So I'll press and hold my Alt button from the keyboard with the liquefy layer selected first, press and hold my Alt button and add a raster mask. So what you'll notice is that the image of that smudged model is hidden. Let me do that again. So this is what it was. Okay, I'll select the liquefy layer. After that, I will press and hold my Alt button from the keyboard and then click on add raster mask layer. So this is what I get. You have a minute to check and do this. Now, next up, can you select your model layer and using the show or hide button, can you show that particular model from that layer? Pretty simple. You have a show or hide button. This is the one with the eye icon. Place a click on it and you will be able to see that particular model without any smudge effect. Done. Now, once you've done that, what I want you to do is to insert a raster mask. Now, over here, this is black in color, so that's a negative raster mask. Over here, we want a normal raster mask. Okay, to insert that is simply select the layer and then add raster mask. See the difference? This is white in color, this is black. I want my model layer and the white raster mask to be selected. You have a minute to do that. All right, upon doing this, next what we're going to do is we'll select a brush tool and I want to have a brush tool which is dispersed. However, I don't have one. I don't have any in photop.com. So if you would look at this with your brush tool activated, in your options bar, click on the side of the brush. Sorry, this one, drop down arrow, and then you have hardness and the different types of brushes. And then you have an arrow. Can you go and place a click onto that arrow? And then can you go and select a brush library, which is trees.abr. Click on it. Depending on the speed of the internet, your brush library would be added in. So if you have a look at now I have some of these with me. So these are the brush which are in size, which are in shapes and size of trees. Still, it doesn't match the dispersed trees. However, we'll work with this because we don't have much options here. All right. Okay. So once that is loaded in, I want you to go and select the brush, which is called tree brush 4. So how do I know which one is tree brush 4? Just place a click on that particular brush tool or the type of brush. It'll call out the name. Here, this is tree brush 2. This is 3. This is 4. Tree brush 4. I want you to select that. Also, see our disperse. What I want to do is have a look at what I'm doing. At the moment, my brush tool, the tree portion, okay, it's pointing towards the actual tree. The tree top is pointing towards north. I want it to point towards west. How do I do that? Have a look at this. This is what I'm doing. This is the actual brush, and I will rotate using the rotation tool here. The arrow, I will rotate it bit around, and I want to have it something like this. So this goes somewhere about southwest direction. Okay. Can you do the same? If I want to keep it in west, this was north, complete north. Okay, and then this is west, and this is somewhere around southwest direction. Can you do that, please? Done. Now once you've done that, your brush tool is activated. The next thing that I want to do is I need to ensure that my foreground color is black. Now, black foreground color with the raster mask means it removes something. So what are we removing? Before we go on to the removing portion, please ensure you have your brush tool selected and your foreground color is black. Moreover, can you allocate a brush size of 700? So your brush size 700, how do I do it to 700? Using your shortcut rectangular tool, rectangular button from the keyboard. Okay, so you can adjust the size. So open rectangular bracket decreases the size, closing rectangular bracket makes the size bigger. I want it to be somewhere around 700 or 800. Either of it would do. Keep it to 700 at the moment. If you're unsure, let me know. Okay, moving on, this is what we'll do. I'll ensure that my raster mask is selected, and I'll start doing this on the image. try blending in, try doing different effects. Sorry, try blending, removing it. You're still learning on this, so you don't necessarily need to master the skills. With few exercises, you should be more and more efficient with it. You have 2 minutes to do this. Now, another thing that I want you to try out is tweak with the size of your brush. While you're trying to remove that portion from the image, try to tweak the size of your brush. Keep it between 400 and then swap it to 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, or even 1000, and see the effect that comes in. Generally, the effect that I wanted to have was a paint drop brush tool. Now, paint drop brush tool generally is in Photoshop, so the effect would come in much more easier. Unfortunately, we do not have that in photopea.com, and for me to do that, I'll need to go and look for a library of brushes, which is a bit difficult at the moment. So stick to this. This will also work. The effect will be very much similar. Okay. And sometimes later onwards, when you're using Photoshop, to keep this in mind that to use a paint drop brush tool. You know, the paint drop brush tool effect would be like just when a paint drips from one location, let's say from a side of a wall and onto the ground. So the drop option, okay, the drop effect. Yeah, so that's what the paint drop effect would be for a brush tool. Now, once you've done this, the next thing what I want you to do is this. Select your move tool so that things become easier and you get rid of that paintbrush. Moreover, jump over to your liquify layer. Now remember, when you're choosing black color, black removes with raster mask. When you're choosing white color, it inserts something. Remember our image, we had smudged it. Now we want to bring in some features of that smudged image into this layer. How do we do that? So liquify layer, select the raster mask, and then we'll choose a foreground color of white, and then you're using a brush tool again. Foreground color, change it to white, brush tool. Let's go and change our brush tool this time. See which one might look a bit different. Okay, let's choose the last one, tree brush 9. Let's see how the effects are with that. Yeah, tree brush 9 would look better. And then again, we need to change the angle of the brush. Again, can you shift it to a southwest direction? All right, now that being done, now we'll go and actually apply the effect. Now, this is the trick. You will not go and place a click on where you have already removed. See this image, the white ones that you have just removed, you will not go and place a click on them. If by chance you do place a click on them, what will happen is you will end up replacing what you have just removed. We don't want that to take place. So disperse effect, what it simply indicates is that the portion of the image has been removed and it goes off outside the image. So this is what I want you to do. Okay, so I will try to have my brush tool a bit bigger in size. Okay, because of the stamp, I don't want to have the stamps and stuff. Okay, so here it is. Have a look what I'm doing, and then you can try it out. And I'm placing a click on them one by one. Hold on, do not attempt it. I just want to see how it looks with this brush tool. Now this brush tool is not, it's not matching with the pixels that I'm inserting in. Let me try some other brush tool. Let's go back to the one that we worked earlier with. Brush tool 4, rotate it to the other direction. And there you go. And let's try the effects now. I'm making it bit more bigger in size, keeping it somewhere about 1500. Let's see the effect that it draws in. Hold on, people, hold on. I'm just doing a bit of trial and error and see which brush tool which match better and in what size, so that you can try it without any errors. So I'm keeping my brush tool. Okay, so far I am choosing tree brush 4, the one that we have chosen earlier onwards. We don't have much options here, so we'll have to stick to this. And with my brush tool activated, now the size, I'll try to vary the sizes. The first one I'm keeping at 350, and then moving up to, let's say, about 500 somewhere here in the middle. Okay, and 500 somewhere here as well. After that, I will make it a bit more smaller to 350, and then back to about 700. Right, this matches a bit. Now what you have to do here is you'll have to play around with the brushes, since we do not have appropriate brush tools in photopea.com. However, this actually does look good and throw a bit of effect that I wanted it to show. So what you'll do is you'll use your brush, tree brush 4, and then tweak the sizes between 350, 400, 500, 700, and then try to blend in and see how it looks for you. I'll give you some time, take about 5 minutes where I'll be online with you. Okay, and if you are not able to do it, you can let me know. Try it out, people. Let's give it a try. Okay, have a look at this, what I'm showing. Just in case if we had the appropriate brush tool, we could have got our effect something like this, what you're seeing on the screen. Just because there is no proper brush tool on photop.com. Now we can actually go and search online and look at some of the brush libraries for photop.com. Now this is a paint brush effect, okay, or paint drop effect. And once you actually have that brush tool, we could have inserted these effect in here. So with the lack of brushes, we are not able to do so. Now, if you want to try it out, specifically something like this, now what you can do is you can always go onto photoshopcc.com and try a 14-day of trial, and then you can try out one. Or secondly, what you can do is you can always go around downloading the brush tool library onto photop.com. You'll need to have a look at it in different websites and see if you're able to find them for free or not. If you are able to find them for free, do download it up. So how do you download? There's an option here, load ABR. Okay, so you can load it up and then try it out. So this is a sort of a dispersion effect, not particularly the result that I wanted to. I wanted the result to come out something like this, or even this. Now, how do we get the bets here? Now, the bet is a brush tool. Okay, so the brush tool indicates that bet size. There are others as well. Okay, you can we have in Photoshop, they have the bird effect as well, you know, with the birds and stuff. You can also try it out. Or if you look at this dispersion effect here, now it is using small and tiny pieces of squares. Now you can have that in photop.com. How is this brush, and over here the squares, so you'll need to insert tiny squares all together. Okay, now you can mix in and blend in the colors with changing the white and the black foreground colors. You can have that effect placed in as well. So that's another way of doing it. Now that is something that I'll leave it to you to try it out in your own time, probably straight after when you knock off the class. Then you can try it out and see what you get. And if you get something interesting, send it to me on probably through email, or probably you can send it to me on the forum that is provided in each and every weekly sections, or through a Moodle message, and then I'll comment on it. Okay, so please save this file somewhere and keep it for your own use. But before we actually knock off, there's a bit of more exercise that I wanted to do in changing the background color. So this is what we will try and work on it. Okay, so once you've done this, can you go and select your background layer, everyone? Now I want you to go and choose your adjustment layer, and again choose a gradient fill tool. Adjustments layer, gradient fill tool. And this time, what we will do is this. In your gradient option, can you go and pick up the orange color? Yeah, orange, yellow, orange. Choose that, please. Done that. Okay. Click on the arrow to deselect that. Okay. And once you're done with that, close your properties section. Now, I think this tool looks good with the orange color, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. It looks a bit better with the orange color. So after you've done that, moreover, what I would like you to do is, with that gradient fill 1 option selected, can you go and choose the option as soft light? Gradient fill 1 layer selected. Go and choose your blending option as soft light. So this is what it was before. We have changed it to soft light, so it blends in with the previous background gradient color with the current one and gives you a different color altogether. You can try out other options as well. For example, hard light. You can try multiply as well. It will give you different options. So it's about you doing a bit of trial and error and see which one looks good. Okay, so I think the best one over here is soft light. I like it the best in terms of soft light, and also have a opacity of 50%. Okay, let me do the steps again. Okay, same, just repeating it out. So gradient, okay, adjustment layer, gradient fill. So you're choosing a color as orange. So this is what you get. Hide your properties section or properties panel. From there, you'll go to your blending options and you'll choose overlay, and your opacity, you are putting it out to 50%. All right, now I'd like you to go and save this image. Save it as PSD or PNG format. Just quickly try to remove these squares. The squares seem to look a bit odd in here. All right, so this is your final result on the dispersion effect. Do try it out over and over again. It's not easy, but just by learning at one stance, you might need to go back to the video and learn this all over. And overall, what you can do is, if you are fond of social media, you can actually try this out and post it up on your social media profiles. Or what you can do is you can make up videos on this and place them up on YouTube. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. This is all that I have for the class for today. So please, if you have any questions or queries, feel free to drop me an email. At the same time, prepare yourself well for your mid-semester exam. Now, we'll meet in next week's Thursday's class. Till then, thank you very much. Take care, stay safe. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Snoop.